What is that? Fish hatchery?
No, yes.
Oh, I believe
I mean,
that.
we all of our facilities, yeah. So we have this, some sort of discharge, we have surface discharge. I mean, the solid, yeah, they.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, looks like we're,
Yeah.
Tonight.
Intimately familiar. So it's, all
That
three.
We're all gonna die, fortunately.
Well, and it was one.
Great, good evening, everyone, and I'd like to welcome you to the first planning board of the new year, so 2024. And hope everyone's doing fine and rooting for the Buffalo Bills. My name is Jeff Schmidt. I'm the chairperson of the planning board of the town of Waynesburg. Go around, just a quick introduction with the rest of the members, so you can associate names and faces.
First, Mike Harris, I'm the chair of the planning board.
Matt Hoffman, planning board member.
Good evening, Elizabeth Novak, planning board member.
Josh Houghton, planning board member.
Teresa Bickner, attorney for the planning board.
Corinne Van Dusen, planning board.
Chris Parslow, town planner, code enforcement officer, building inspector.
3 jobs. One of the members of the board was unable to make it tonight. It's Mike Walpole. He called in and he's got the conflict, so. But we have a quorum, so we have enough members to operate properly. Confines of the rules and regulations. The copies of the agenda are available on the back table. There's 3 public hearings tonight. If you're here to participate in the public hearing, there's a sign-in sheet that we'd like you to sign in if you're here to make comments during the context of the public hearing. The first part of our agenda deals with an open forum. It allows anyone to make comments to the plan, address the planning board on issues that may be of interest to you, may be of interest to the board members. And so we ask if you have a comment that relates to something that we will discuss later on the agenda, that you reserve for that point. And also try to limit your comment to around 4 minutes. That's something you want to leave with. And also identify yourself by name and location within the township. So with that in mind, I'm going to make a motion to open the open forum for the town of Waynesburg Planning Board for the January 18th, 2024 meeting.
I'll second that.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board member Novak. Yes. Board member Having.
Yes.
Board member Hoffman.
Yes.
Okay, so if anyone would like to make a comment tonight, all ears.
You want me to read just this or the second page too?
Just, I think just read it. Okay, we do have, what we will do during the context of this open forum is we had a couple of letters that came in that was the author couldn't attend tonight, so we'll read that into the record along with the response that we have had prepared by our counsel for the board. So
Okay, so this is from Lynn Brunning, and I shouldn't have an address on here, but oh, it's Quaker Street, New York, PO Box 160, is that enough? Yeah, okay. The draft December 21st, 2023 planning board meeting minutes, page 6 of 136, includes a section other. It shows Adam Fink, the Lansing Fire, 1797 Main Street, stated that the C-Tech solar project is under Fire Protection District 2. Application documents submitted to the planning board show that the C-Tech project is proposed for street address 10516 Western Turnpike with tax ID parcel number 64.00-2-8. Schenectady County online tool for the Schenectady Internet Mapping System shows that tax ID parcel number 64.0-2-8 is located in the Esperance fire protection. Then the town of Waynesburg twenty twenty-four property tax bill shows that the tax levy parcel number is taxes fire protection 3. The town of Waynesburg fire protection map obtained from the town through freedom of information request made December 27, 2023 lacks clarity. Please see attached map. For the safety of the entire community, the correct emergency service provider should review the application. So, and we have a response to that, and that was written by Teresa. I'm going to read that part now. The area of the town is covered by the Village of Esperance Fire Company pursuant to a contract with the town and is within fire protection district 3. By far, the closest company to the site is the Village of Esperance Fire Company. Fire Protection District 2 is Mariahville. All the fire companies support each other. The other companies that cover Fire Protection District number 3 are the Village of Delanson Fire Company and Burtonsville Fire Company. It is also possible the town's 2 commissioned fire districts, Waynesburg Volunteer Fire Company and Quakersville Volunteer Fire Company, may turn out in response. This is the map that is on file with the town and dates way back. It is what it is. And I think we had somebody here last month that helped to clarify that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Are there any other questions, comments from the public?
I think there were 2 comments on the survey.
The other one is related to the survey, which was a public hearing. We could read that during that
Oh,
public hearing.
that's fine.
Is that okay? Okay.
I just don't want to forget it.
Yep, we got it.
Get right here. Okay,
I think we can close it, yeah.
okay, I make a motion to close the open forum for the Town of Waynesburg Planning Board, January 18th, 2024 meeting.
One second.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Howard.
Yes.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is sketch plan review. There's nothing on that on the agenda for that this evening. And the next is we have a series of 3 public hearings. The first is Joseph Surf seeks an amendment to his current special use permit to include on-site cooking at the address 216-18 Batter Street. In that context, I'm going to make a motion to open the public hearing for the Joseph Surf special use permit.
I'll second.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Howard.
Yes.
Okay. If there's anyone here that has comments on,
Do we want Joe to give a quick
Yeah.
statement what he's
yeah,
planning on doing?
yeah, Joe, why don't you just refresh the audience here as to what your plans are and why you're actually asking for an amendment?
Okay. Joseph Surf, 216 Batter Street. What we're asking for is there is the special use permit. One of the stipulations was no food prep was supposed to be allowed on site. We went through the first season, we checked with other venue sites. No other venue site has that stipulation. We found that many caterers want to show up and be able to cook some stuff on site. I've got a lot of public interest in being able to use the site for small events, graduation parties and other things where they'd like to be able to cook on the grill, hamburgers, hot dogs, or other such cooking. We met with the health department. We established a food prep area on the site that meets with the health department regulations. There's still a stipulation that I have to follow all other permitting processes. So anything we do on the site will still have to be permitted by the health department. So everything will be legit there. It just doesn't work, not being able to have food prep at a venue site. So we're asking for the no food prep to be removed as one of the stipulations.
Okay. Joe, could you describe to us, like on the map, the location of, you have designated areas where the food prep would occur, or it could be anywhere within the bounds of the property?
Well, the board asked me to come up with a operational plan when I first started. We amended the operational plan where to include the food prep, and one of the stipulations is no open flames cooking within 20 feet of the property line. So This being where the banquet hall is, this being the area where the tent is. We've eliminated anything on the Lake District, so all this area is locked out. For the, it's zoned two different things, front zone lake, second is R1, I believe. So. Following the plan, there'd be no food prep allowed out here, no food prep within the 20-foot line. Inside the banquet hall on the back wall, there would be some food prep going on where people could put up like a hot dog roll or stuff like that for small drinks, cook popcorn, stuff like that. Inside what we call the boathouse, there's a pre-base sink, a vegetable sink, and a hand wash station in here. The whole thing, the code enforcement officer checked it out. Freshened up all the sheetrock coated. Health department's gonna make me come in a epoxy floor that I'll take care of in spring. Says that is all set up and running. So the main area we're looking at is in front of the boathouse area here. That there's a paved area there, caterers showing up and stuff like that. That'll give them this area where they can go inside, do some food prep, set up their food ahead of time. There's a commercial refrigerator there. That's required by the health department for them to put things in until they serve it at the venue site. So this is the main area. This area here, basically, there's a tent there, so that, there's also no open flames within 20 feet of the tent. So the main target area is here. There's a fire pit up here. I've got somebody interested in putting on a fire pit. Additionally, that we have that the possibility of caterers showing up on the back of the banquet hall. We've got one couple interested in 2025. They built the site. They've got a barbecue truck. They want to come in. They want to be able to back it up in that area. So it opens up to the banquet hall. So. Any questions about the area?
You have, one of the audience, like to comment?
Hi, my name is Joanne Virgin. I'm at 864 Kings Road in Rotterdam. We've had multiple events, small events on the service property. We had a kid's birthday party, a wedding, a vow renewal, and it would, it's a great venue. It's a great facility for the public to use. And it would be nice if we could have had, instead of bringing the food in, if there was some availability to do some small cooking on site.
We do have a comment that came in via email to us, and we might read that.
Yep. So this is from Peter Sweeney and Tony Tenesella. They're at 176 Batter Street. As a direct neighbor of the special permit venue site operated by Joe Sturz, we'd like to state our firm opposition to allowing the expansion of services to include on-site cooking by professionals and non-professionals playing. It has barely been 1 year in operation. Already he is seeking to expand on what he originally proposed. It seems excessive and premature to allow this permit change. He proposes on-site cooking within 20 feet of the property line. There's a fire concern as there are numerous structures, both residential and storage, including an over 200-year-old family residence as well as a cottage. On-site cooking would increase the liability risk of both properties. Even without flames, grease, and electrical fires pose risks. Already, the barn is constructed just 20 feet from the property line, which is 20 feet closer than the 40-foot setback required by the town code. We have still not been shown how this can improve, and lastly, there was no variance applied for, nor was there any notice given to neighbors for input. When I spoke with the town office, they gave me the application paper for the barn. It didn't show any process for explanation. As designated residential area, we propose this increase in commercial services and the added burden of odors, noise, and increased waste of all the attendant dangers being on the commercial scale.
Any other comments for the record? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Mary Hughes. I live next door at 242 Batter Street. And all the events they've had so far have not been, you know, they don't intrude on us. So keep the noise down. As far as activities, it's been really quiet. So I have no complaints about them being there and doing what they want to do.
Anybody else? Okay. Well, public hearing, all right.
Yeah, it was, I make a motion.
I don't know, I'm not sure we should close it yet. I mean, 'cause if we close the public hearing, do we have to act on it within so many days, Teresa? Or,
Well, this is just on the issue of the cooking,
okay,
okay? That was the sole topic of the public hearing notice as well. So, no, you've given people a chance to.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the Joseph Sir special amendment to the special use permit for cooking.
I can second that.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Hilton.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Okay. We want to further discuss the project, Josh, you had some issues?
Yeah, I just, last month, you know, when we were talking about, you know, the multiple, you know, proposals going on here, and there was discussion between classification of an A2 or assembly 2 versus A3, which I think, you know, that was mostly in the context of the church, but it got me thinking about, this is a commercial, you know, event space in a residential area, you know, should we classify it as an A2, which I think he probably meets most of the qualifications already. But that'll give the town the recourse if it strays inside the permit. It might be something we could think about. I don't think it's overly onus on changing the requirements, and Chris, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But that would just give, you know, additional recourse if things get outside of the scope from the town's perspective, you know. Department of Health and all the other things, they have their own reports and qualifications. Just something to think about.
So what I think he's saying is right now, there's no classification on this building. Okay, because it's listed as an accessory structure to a residential dwelling with especially used to allow for commercial events. Okay, I spoke to Dale about that, so this isn't a commercial venue. Okay, there's no classification on it. It's basically just an accessory structure to a residence that you guys allowed a special use permit to allow for commercial events, 20, and you limited it to 20. So if you make it a commercial, then you would designate it, you would need an operating permit. Okay, and then it would be classified as an A2.
Yeah, and I mean, we're expanding this into more than just that barn in the backyard. I think add cooking now and stuff like that, and Chris, I don't know if you know what additional requirements there would be, but I'm assuming that he's probably meeting quite a few of them already, if not all of them, for an A2.
Yeah, because it's seasonal, he doesn't have to have an energy code. You know. you can
Correct.
only-
So when this first started, you know, you guys asked me to hire a licensed professional to do a full code assessment of the property, bring it up for accessibility for the 99 people. So I hired a licensed professional. He gave a report, met with Dale. It was fully classified for A2 and A3. There's no difference.
Okay, so then that's good.
So you already have the report for the A2 and A3 as far as the banquet hall. So you inspected the building to make sure it was up to A2 based off the report, right?
Right, but I think you're getting a little, right now, the town doesn't have that building classified as an A2 or 3. It might be, the report might say, it's good to be an A2 and A3, and that's fine. So you're already ahead of the game is what Josh is saying. What I'm saying is the town doesn't have it classified as a commercial building right now.
Okay,
Do you understand?
I understand.
So you would have to be, once a year, you would have to have the building inspected, as well as a fire inspection, right?
And
Same thing.
You already said you're doing that once a year. You inspected it, you said you're coming back next year. We already talked about your annual inspection, you're gonna do it, so you're doing it once a year because you're considering it to be A2.
Well,
That's the only reason.
right, so we're gonna do the fire inspection, but this would be for the whole thing. And then you would be issuing an operating permit every year. Do
My
you get what I'm saying?
question would be,
if, and I think what Josh is asking is if we allow this site plan amendment or special use permit amendment, this would be another amendment to the special use permit that we're gonna classify this building as A2, assembly 2.
Yeah, essentially a contingency
Yeah.
like we have.
Well, how would that affect other buildings on the parcel? Can you, because now you've got multiple
Can I
uses.
make a suggestion? I think the planning board is straying into the building inspector's arena. They make the decision about the classification of buildings and what has to be met for that purpose. For building permits and certificates of occupancy, so I wouldn't get into that, okay? I think the question in front of the board at the moment is the existing commercial event venue special use permit has the following condition 16, which is no preparation of food shall occur on site, but food shall be catered and the company is providing the catering service shall have all required county and New York State DOH permits and approvals. So the question here is, how, simply put, how do you want to, or do you want to change that condition? That's really the question in front of us tonight.
Chris, I wanted to ask you, have you received the reports that they were supposed to send to you for any events before they happen in the final report that's supposed to be done at the end of the year?
So there was only one event that he did notify me of. I don't remember the date. June maybe, right?
That's not true. I advised you that the non-commercial events, and I advised you.
No, yeah, well, I'm talking about the commercial events, Joe.
I told you 5 events total. At the last meeting, first meeting we had, said we had 2 more events. We have 2 more events coming up. I advised you every time. I met in your office, we went through a review. I said, do you want to get with the fire chief? And you did not want to get with the fire chief. And we agreed that this year I'll be notifying you by email to make sure everything's solid.
Right.
I've been notified you of every event.
So the special use permit says a letter shall be sent to the building inspector each time an event is being held. And a letter shall be sent at least 5 days before the event. Doesn't specify commercial event, private event, birthday party, it says event. And you just said you had 5 events. Chris, did you receive 5 letters from Joe?
No, I received phone calls. I didn't receive letters.
And that's all he asked for. I asked, should I send a letter? He said
Phone
no.
calls. I didn't get letters.
Yeah, you should, Joe, you should send letters.
We agreed.
Send letters, because that's what the approval says. Follow the approval, okay? Doesn't have to be in the mail, you can email them.
We talked, we said, we agreed this year we're gonna do emails.
He did say that.
All I'm saying is just be sure to follow the rule.
Thank you.
Okay.
And then you did get the final report, Chris?
No, so you guys would get the final report from me.
I'm supposed to have a meeting with him, which I did,
Right.
Before December 31st.
and I did.
Yeah, we did have the meeting. I just didn't get you the letter. Because I actually didn't know about it before I just read it.
You asked him at the last meeting in December if we had.
So,
So the health department, as far as the food prep and the boathouse. That's allowed to be in a residential structure. That doesn't go A to A, whatever. You can, cooking, for that facility, you go get a license, you can do cupcakes and stuff like that. That is allowed in a residential structure. So it's not gonna change the category of assembly toward the banquet hall. All we're asking for is that the restriction to be removed, so we'll have that food prep. At the last meeting, you said you'd have a public hearing and we take action. If you don't take action, that's your prerogative. We're not changing anything besides. Can somebody show up with a barbecue truck or can somebody cook hamburgers and hot dogs? That's all we're asking.
So at a minimum, before I make a decision on this, I would like the plan to show all those items that you talked about, Joe, show where the fire pit's gonna be, show where the location are gonna be. I think we talked about the food trucks, where the food trucks will be allowed to be parked. You would want all of those items shown on the plan, show, you know, a 20-foot buffer, a hatch buffer, you know, around the property, that's the no cook, no flame area around the tent. You know, the plate, because the plan is what the building inspector is gonna have to go by
We have to have.
when a complaint comes, if a complaint comes in, that he's gonna look at this plan and say, are you in compliance with it? So right now, we don't have a plan incorporating all the things that you wanted to.
At the November meeting, or December meeting, no, November, you asked me to incorporate it into my operational plan. I asked, do you want to cite your name? You said no. So I followed exactly what you said. You said, is a site plan required? Your attorney said, it's up to you guys, and then Mike said, let's get it into an operational plan. Word for word, you want it in the operational plan. It's clear in the operational plan, and you put it there, I'm gonna follow the operational plan. 20 foot from the property line, 20 foot from the fence, 20 foot from every building. You have photographs of the area where the food prep's gonna be done. And the operational plan clearly states where everything's gonna be happening. You have pictures of the fire pit on the site, that's not gonna, the fire inspectors already inspected it. This is just a simple little, we wanna cook. I've covered it in the operational plan. We have to go back and go to a licensed professional, have all this drawn up, is not necessary, as long as I follow the operations plan. You asked Teresa. You were the one who brought it up, shouldn't it be in the site plan? Teresa said it's up to you, and Mike said, Mr. Surfman, need to do is, give it to me in writing, so I followed exactly what you wanted.
Chris, from an enforcement perspective, and you go out there in a year and you're looking at the site. Is the site plan gonna be beneficial to being able to make sense of all this, or are you comfortable with the level of detail that's in the business plan or the operational plan, to be able to quantify where things are?
Well, I mean, he could. For me, I think that's hard because he could use anything out in the middle, right? He wanted to. It's hard to. I mean, I think it would be better if you restricted the amount of feet for certain cities. Like structures, property lines. I think it would be easier that, because I mean, he could literally, all the grass there to the left, I mean, you know, technically, you know what I mean? He could mark that whole area as a cooking place. So, I mean,
It's easier to say where it's not, 20 foot from the property line, 20 foot from.
well, that's what I'm trying to, that's what I'm
So we've
saying.
already
It's
said-
easier to put restrictions on it, I think, than it would be to just.
So we've got the words, is it easy enough to figure out where 20, if I put it on the map, you're gonna be like, yeah, how do I know? 20 foot from the property line, 20 foot from the building, 20 foot from the fence, that'd be a violation.
Right, if they want to go 20 foot, that's what I'm saying. But
Well, that's what I've suggested, that's what's in the plan, I mean, they didn't want 3 or 6 feet, I said 20 foot. We eliminated the whole lake district.
So here's a suggestion. Food preparation may occur on site, providing the facility preparer and food truck shall have all required county and New York State DOH permits and approvals for such food preparation, period. The food preparation shall be as described in the operations plan submitted by the applicant. In no event will food preparation occur in the Lake District or within 20 feet from any property boundary. So the only question in my mind is, he has suggested 20 feet, I don't know. I don't have any opinions. Just make sure you're okay with 20 feet, okay? I can read that again if you'd like.
Are there any residential structures within that, say, 20 feet from the edge of, let's say you had a Brooks barbecue type facility where there's a lot of smoke coming up to the chickens and stuff?
Books, barbecue, I'm gonna push it to the middle of the yard. The 20 foot for the cooking, the barn is 20 foot, inside the barn against that wall is where people fire up hot dog rollers and stuff like that. And you got inside the food house, the sinks and stuff like that, that's true stuff. Besides that, I'm not gonna take off my neighbors. I'm going to, if we have Brooks barbecue, I've gotta move it a lot further away. I'm not gonna upset my neighbors. If I upset my neighbors, they're gonna come and complain, and you know that's not good for Jeff.
Yeah, I know. Well, they're already upset for the record tonight, so.
Well, you got
Yeah.
Tony and Peter are upset. They just moved,
let's
let's leave that alone. So,
in no event will outdoors food preparation occur in the Lake District or within, you know, if you're concerned about the Brooks barbecue thing, say within 80 feet. And that way it's outdoors, doesn't have anything to do with what's going on indoors.
Yeah.
so if you go back to the site map. If you could,
Maybe 100 feet isn't the right number, I mean, you guys pick.
if we bring in a barbecue truck. The site's set up right now with a barbecue truck can come in. Back right up along here on the outside of the banquet hall, there's a 16 foot door, they can open up, the truck sets up here. And they can be serviced inside and outside, inside. That's not.
How far away is that from the property boundary? That's all I would know.
Okay, so the barn here is 20 feet, so they would be set up. The back, there'd be a vehicle would be 16, but that's not the
Would
open
be
cook,
what?
that- I'm sorry,
60?
no, sorry, 20 plus another 10, 30 feet. I'm talking too fast.
That's
That
right,
wouldn't be open flame cooking, okay? The only open flame cooking would have, there's no tent here. Sometimes we do pancake breakfasts down in this area. That would be where we'd have any kind of cooking 20 feet within the property line. It makes sense because it'd be right here, because you have a 16 foot door going in here. The banquet hall is more like the pavilion, all the sides open right up. There's more doors than there's walls.
up to you guys.
A trailer, someone, yeah, Brooks barbecue, is that considered indoor cooking or outdoor cooking?
That's outdoor cooking,
That's okay. The food truck would be considered in,
outdoor,
that's outdoor,
Yeah.
okay. And just trying to clarify your note, and make sure I understand what.
Yeah.
outdoor means.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter that the kitchen sink in the back of the boathouse is maybe 18 feet from the property line, but it's inside, so
it's
we're not.
inside, because that's what you're worried about, you're not worried about. Where he's cooking inside buildings, you're worried about where
Matt,
he's doing
These
stuff.
people got
outside.
better things to do.
Yeah.
What distance do you want, Matt? I wanna go, give me a distance, give me a number. You said they were 6 foot, I said 20 foot. We put it at 20 foot, and we had a problem last meeting at 20 foot. Give me a number so we can move on, so these good people can move on to their. And I don't have to come back here. I'm hitting the road next month.
Not up to me. Not up to me, it's up to the board.
I'm just.
Do you guys want to take more time to review the condition? It's really up to you, but I think we should, you know, since you got a big agenda, make a decision if you're gonna make a decision tonight or not, and we'll do it.
Read it one more time, I'm not sure what another one was, it's not like it's a book, right?
Okay. All right, so it would read. Food preparation may occur on site. Providing the facility preparer and food truck shall have all required county and New York State DOH permits and approvals for such food preparation. The food preparation shall be as described in the operations plan submitted by the applicant. In no event will outdoor food preparation occur in the Lake District or within 30 feet from any property boundary.
How
And
many?
that's 30, 20 plus 10, 30. Outdoor food prep.
That's reasonable.
Okay,
For my own clarity, can you read the first part again, so I don't have to say I didn't go through it word for word. Just,
Let's see if the board has.
okay, let's see if they're good.
any.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 30 feet gets as far as you can, but still understanding that the back of the barn has the doors, so I mean, that makes sense. You want people to be able to access the food truck right there.
It doesn't need to be said, I'm asking that any changes here need to comply with the building inspector's requirements, right? That's a given.
That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever is in the New York State ordinance must be complied with. You guys, you'll be interested to know that you have no power
Yes.
to vary those requirements in any respect.
Okay.
And then all the other conditions other than 16 are essentially
Everything's
still,
the same.
but, so.
So with that, Teresa, is he gonna have to update his operational plan because it says 20 feet on here? Would we have to condition this approval to the update of the plan?
Well, I can just say, I think, just add the word. It says, the food preparation shall be as described in the operations plan submitted by the applicant. I would put, however, in no event, just to be very clear, in no event will outdoor food prep occur in the Lake District or within 30 feet from any property boundary. So this would supersede whatever he has in the operations plan. It would be helpful to the building inspector if it was updated to reflect that, and I'm sure you're willing to do that.
Absolutely, just.
I'll read it again. Food preparation may occur on site, providing the facility preparer and food truck shall have all required county and New York State DOH permits and approvals for such food preparation. The food preparation shall be as described in the operations plan submitted by the applicant. However, in no event will outdoor food preparation occur in the Lake District or within 30 feet from any property boundary.
Do we need any separation from buildings?
I'm sorry.
Do we need any separation from buildings? Like, I don't think you want a food truck parked 5 feet away from a structure, right?
The way it's set up is from the barn.
Would that be covered by code?
I think
That
so.
would be
Yeah,
covered
'cause
by
I know like other things, like back one, they put the food truck out in the parking
But
lot.
it's not fine. You
No.
gotta walk a little ways.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah,
That's fine, that's covered by building code, then that's.
It's really fire code.
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Yep.
All required permits, sometimes food prep won't require a permit. Some.
I understand. That's why it says all required.
Thank you very much, Teresa. Okay, good. My fellow partner wants to make sure. Caterers, food trucks, all the other. And you're saying food trucks, caterers are covered as.
Preparer would be the
Preparer.
same as caterer.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for saying you like.
that's all right. That's fine.
I apologize to everybody else who's taking so long. I'm good with that.
I think one of the other things is as long as just want to mention it in the last month, we talked about the use of the Lake District as a bed and breakfast versus, there was talk of it being a rectory. Just knowing that that's still a condition on the use of the Lake District under this permit.
So I'm rehabbing the building out. I have no intention to use any of the Lake District for any event unless somebody actually books in at the bed and breakfast. That's the way I interpret it. If they don't book a room at the bed and breakfast, they're not staying there, they don't get to use the Lake District, even if I have other people using the bed and breakfast during summer. Because that's the intent, as far as I'm concerned. For rehabbing one bedroom, one bathroom now, that's that front building.
Which number is it? Just so we know the wording.
Well, right
Says it-
now it says, whereas the property contains an approved bed and breakfast with a certificate of occupancy issued by the town of Waynesburg building inspector. Is that accurate, Chris?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
The original approval says the property contains an approved bed and breakfast with a certificate of occupancy issued by the town of Waynesburg building inspector.
Yes.
That is true. Okay, so that answers that.
The problem with that one is you have a CO for that, State law requires CO if it's not owner occupied, it's owner occupied, you don't need a CO. The person still gets them up to check out, make sure we're in compliance, even though it's legally can't give me a CO. Because if I don't live there, it's commercial, if I do live there, it's residential. Somebody else said there's a lot of things going on here. Sorry.
That's, none of that is.
Just like
in
cooks
front
and
of
food,
us.
right?
Yeah, I think that's in front of us. Food or no?
Cook some food. I'm just having trouble with, the application and use of this existing special use permit. How well it's been followed this year, this past year. And I'm just afraid, by relaxing this restriction, it's going to allow for another variance or another amendment in the future. Just this kind of slippery slope, if you will. I mean, what we've talked about seems reasonable. I'm just concerned about how the operations have been. Some portions of the special use permit may or may not have been properly followed already. That's my hesitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So make a motion or not.
The annual review is where we have an opportunity to make sure it's well done this year.
Yeah.
And that's our next opportunity.
Yeah.
I think that's the other way to.
Yep.
So I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to the special use permit as Teresa read, and I'm sure you'll get that in writing. Lauren, I'll leave the meeting minutes.
I'll send it to Cory.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll copy the board too.
I'll second. Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak. Yes. Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton.
Yes.
Board Member Humphrey.
Yes.
The rest.
Sorry, that's one that's. We're out here.
All right, next thing on tonight's agenda, we're gonna move this thing along, Northern Clearing. 3851 Western Turnpike. Special use permit, for making up the existing building of site.
I can see that in the. It's short to all this.
I figured it's, this just as a backup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Frank's getting set up. Just want to wish you guys a happy new year. And I guess to let you know a couple other things about that. The building that we're in, we did finalize our purchase from Howard. So thank you. It was a process. So we're looking forward to, again, being part of this community going forward, and you guys will be stuck with us for a while.
It's good, that's good. Okay, yeah, last time we were here, we were talking about the SWIP. We gave you 20 days and we had that's against you. At least try that anyhow.
How much you doing?
Yeah, the over under.
What was over under on that one?
There was quite a lot of work to do, but let's see what you got there.
All right, so, thank you, Frank Palumbo with CCNL Associates.
Yeah.
Scott, just to introduce himself and, the owner, operator of the facility. And the first plan we have on here for anyone that, is interested, this is the plan we presented last month, 2 months. And, everything on here is still the same as we had presented it, parking out front with the existing, that we've articulated a little bit more. Some landscaping out front, fencing, all of that is still the same, as is the area that is existing in here already. We identified the container storage area here and the previously approved, state approved petroleum bulk storage tank. And the majority of the work it was this area back here where we're going to be creating a new laydown area, similar to what is here, the gravel laydown area. What the applicant does is provide a lot of construction related materials, much of it related to controlling stormwater. They form and provide, supply large wood cribbing to mats that will allow work across areas, wet areas. And that's their business operation. They're pros at it, and that's what they're gonna also be bringing to the site development here. So what we did in that time period since, we labeled this one the site layout plan. We refined the area of the gravel laydown area, which was a function of the stormwater and having the necessary area here for bioretention and detention pond. The access points are off of the rear here, into this area. It's a little bit higher, so moving up on the site, and then a secondary access point here. So, vehicles have the ability to traverse the site without going in long distances and having to back out as well. As I said, even though we didn't even mark it on here, that plan ahead was still the valid plans that we planned on submitting. And how would you better one the next one? The first one's clear, but then just gonna go with this so that I can flip the sheet. If you want to leave that one up there for now. Like this, folks. So the plan here is our grading plan, and in general, what is happening is this is the highest area. It's all making its way down here. That's the natural flow and progression on the site. This area is graded such that it will have a generally flat area. There will be more slope than on a standard parking lot, but it's not really excessive. So the 1 foot contours that we're reflecting here. Another thing I wanted to point out was you had asked about the pond back here. We really have no further information about its origin, when it happened or anything. But what we did not want to get into is having that cause a difficult problem for us in terms of the stormwater analysis. So at this point in time, we're focusing on this area here. If we were to be able to factor something in, we'd probably come in for a site plan amendment at that point, but we have no intention right now of fitting that into this site plan. What we have are a series of pre-treat collection and pre-treatment swales, come down to a plunge pool, into a bioretention area, and then the detention pond before that exits the site in this direction. We moved the gravel laydown area actually back to near where the building setback was. We were originally intending to only have the 40-foot acres, but we realized we needed some earthwork in there, and we wanted to leave a full buffer as I think you would have expected for anything. There's nobody behind us there, but if somebody were to have something, it's a farm field back up in that area that I think you could see on the aerial map there. So we have provided a full stormwater management narrative that has all the HydroCAD information that I'm sure Matt's all well aware of to support our design here. The sediment and erosion control plan is also included in your set. And as I said, Northern Clearing is very well versed at this, but we have our silt fencing, our sediment, all the committees of sediment control. We have construction entrance point here and one here, so that nothing new is going out from this area. And certainly the asphalt at the main entrance, we're capturing anything up here before we're going out towards the road. So those are those factors. All the standard details for the items that we've shown on the plan. So we, as you knew, it would take some time. This is not the full SWIP, but this is the body of the full SWIP. The SWIP would go into its format for final compilation with the appropriate forms and materials for filing with the state. But this is the nuts and bolts of it in terms of how we generated the sizing of everything that we have here. So at this point, I'll leave it to your questions.
We did. Do we have any questions before we open the public hearing on this, or do you want to do the public hearing and then come back?
Yeah, I would open the public hearing.
Okay. All right, so I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for Northern Clearing Incorporated site plan approval and special use permit.
Second.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Kevin.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Sorry if I jumped the gun.
No, that's okay.
You jumped the gun, sorry about that.
The public here that has questions or concerns or wants more information, now is the opportunity to present those to the board for consideration.
Okay.
We haven't received any written comments on the project, so I think make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Kevin.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Check. Next step.
I did have a couple questions looking at your HydroCAD calcs and the intent of the stormwater here. I don't have your maps, your subcatchment maps in here.
I noticed that was not there as I was reviewing my document.
Yeah.
So.
And the reason why that I'm curious is what we talked about previously was the existing parking lot is caught by a swale that kind of goes down and around, and there's a pre-existing stormwater
Yes.
practice. Based on this layout and design, that swale looks like it's gone. So without seeing the subcatchment maps, can you answer, is the existing gravel area treated by, it looks like it would be going into the detention pond?
The swale that was there is going right along there. I think some fine tuning here, Matt, with the subcatchment area is what's necessary to show how much of that can still get through there. Good pickup. I noticed that before, and I think it's some fine tuning of the grading that we can do to make that match up and provide the subcatchment map that clarifies that.
And it looks like everything is new development. There's no proposed redeveloped areas that you're gonna be disturbing for redevelopment that you'll have to worry about?
Correct. Everything that is there is there. Like I said, the only thing with the parking, I think that, for helping out, just to clarify and make sure that it's articulated enough that the number of cars we're showing on that plan are there, that the landscaping goes where it goes, but nothing of real ground disturbance per se.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, without that, it's hard to review this, without those pieces.
And my apologies for that. Should have been.
So I mean, I think in concept, it looks good, what they're proposing, you know, I'm not surprised by our retention, plunge pool, detention with our soils. It's about the only thing that works for green infrastructure, so, you know, everything looks appropriate, but. You know, without that stuff, you can't really get into the fine details.
We could condition the approval on them receiving coverage under. the
But they need to get the full SWIP in and everything else, so I mean,
And that gets approved by you.
DEC review, they sign off on the SWIP, yeah, but I mean, I think we should have the final documents.
Honestly, the only reason you get into this detail is because you have that skill set. Okay, most planning board will make this, make sure this looks okay, because you're getting a bigger design. Need to.
I think it's, what you could do is, really, move forward with it, subject to a final review of the SWIP.
Right.
You know, by that, there's no problem.
And condition.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
are you all right with that one?
Yeah, it's just, I can't tell you right now if this disturbance areas and the locations of the swales are appropriate and everything else, which may change things or shift things, you know, around a little bit. I mean, I think there's a big enough parcel where it'll all work. I mean, it looks like any small tweaks, there's room to do it. We're not really
That's,
shoehorned in,
right,
but
exactly, that's the thing we have. If we have to make a modification, it's not gonna be a grand modification, it's going to really be the minor tweaks on that. And yeah, I wish that was already there. So if I understood that correctly, if the board so chose to make a motion to approve the project, it would be conditioned upon the final SWIP being submitted that board member Matt would be reviewing probably in concert with Chris.
Yeah. And DEC.
yeah, ultimately.
And ultimately,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think there's another condition too. We just wanna make sure that you're not taking down any trees during the bad season.
We would like to have the right of approval to do the clearing, start clearing, if we had to just, you know, lay them down, not do any ground disturbance. We have up until March 30th, to do that, and by March 31st.
So that's part of our, what we do, right? We operate in and outside of the bat window all the time. This acreage is not a lot for us to accomplish and get done and bring stone in, even at working at 1 acre at a time. I'm fully confident that if all of this went through, that our work would be completed if we chose to start before the 31st. If we didn't start before the 31st, we're fully aware that the bat window would close down.
Okay, well, we're just putting it in the condition.
Right,
You
right.
know more than most, do.
Yeah. Thank you, it's fair.
So with that, if folks don't have any more questions, I can our secret determination. So the town of Greensburg, as the secret lead agency for the project, this is a secret unlisted action, and that's been performed the short environmental assessment. We've completed part 2 and part 3. And based on the nature of the project and scope of work for the project, we've determined no significant adverse environmental impacts to the project, provided you do obtain speed use coverage for, from DEC under the general discharge of construction projects, stormwater discharge for construction projects, in addition to not clearing trees during the restricted period of that. So those are the 2 specific conditions we'll add. But as a result of that, again, the town of Greensburg Planning Board is to know that the project will have no significant adverse environmental impacts in accordance with Article 8 of the Environmental Conservation Law, will issue a negative declaration for the site plan approval and special use permit requested by Northern Clearing Inc. So I will make that motion.
There was just one thing. When, I thought you were gonna treat it as an unlisted action now.
I think I said that. Did I not say that?
You said type 2, or did she say?
I heard unlisted.
Yeah, I apologize.
No,
It's
thank
my
you. Always
ears.
good to double check. Yes,
Okay.
unlisted action. So that's why this was a short
Thank
EAF,
you.
but thank you. So I will make that motion. Motion stands.
I'll second.
Board Member Novak,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Hartman.
Yes.
I don't remember Did we, on the site plan, did we want, well, there was talk of the plantings and the screenings and did we get rid of everything altogether?
I thought they were on,
Because they're not shown on this set of plans here.
that one has.
Yeah, that's the
has-
concept.
Yeah, yeah.
But the,
Right, that's what I said, everything that we showed on the concept, we intend to fully include it as we showed it there. Hedgerow up front, additional trees up there, the fencing that we had shown, and we can, as if you wanted to make that also part of, we'll add that to the site plan so that there's. no
yeah, I
question.
think it needs to be
Yeah,
in
that-
the
that's
site
fine.
plan,
That-
especially for.
Yeah, I made that statement to say, we are committed to doing what you already said.
Okay, but this motion is seeker.
The seeker, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, we went through.
Yeah, they did the seeker,
Yeah.
Okay.
so she called the vote on that.
Oh, you did call
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, very good.
I'll make a motion to approve the special use permit for Northern Clearing in accordance with the maps that are submitted, including the plantings and all the SWIP material. And then Teresa had,
And the restriction of tree clearing during the,
yeah, and the restriction of the tree.
between
tree
April
clearing
1st
during
and
that's
October 31st. Obtaining coverage under DEC's general permit. for stormwater.
Yeah, so, and then, so prior to final stamping or signing of the plans, by Jeff, we're gonna receive a revised submission.
Yes. Okay, I'll second that.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Hutton,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good.
you.
You're the planting Tuesday now. You're under time.
I got you over.
I'm making no prediction.
I'm taking it over.
All right. President, good.
Jeff, I'm thinking the Super Bowl is gonna be the Bills and the Packers.
All right, the next public hearing scheduled for this evening is Tricia Steely, 3215 Western Turnpike. But we used to use temporarily have three dwellings on one lot, so. All right,
Give a quick introduction so everybody knows what's going on.
We'll live in the trailer that's there. I'm gonna put a new one in the front and I'm gonna demo the one that I'm living in after. Got my CO for the.
Same septic, right? You're
Yep.
doing the same septic.
Septic one.
Approximate timeline?
Oh,
A year or so.
I need to get through these town meetings so I can get my mortgage. So after I get this, I should be able to.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's same time.
So I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for Tricia Steely's special use permit.
Thanks.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Hutton,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Hutton.
Yes.
more people in the audience, anybody have any comments? Yeah, make a motion to close the public hearing. No comments.
I'll second that.
Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Hutton.
Yes.
Board Member Hutton.
Yes.
And we don't have any conditions, right?
The secret type 2.
And it's parents' night, senior night, that one.
It was, yeah,
Yeah.
my last baby out of the school. Almost.
So I'll make a motion unless you guys, right, I'll make a motion to approve the special use permit for Tricia Steely's, to have two dwellings on her lot, for a temporary.
I'll second.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Board Member Hutton.
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm all set.
Yep.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Look, okay, old business, Thomas Samuelson. Special use permit, converting existing residential building back to a two-family dwelling.
As far as I know, I'm back here on behalf of town, there will be updated the pictures of the parking lot that I think Chris advised him to put in, and I think Corinne got them today.
Yeah. But it's all, the finished version of the driveway, you said you were afraid.
I think he sent them, I have them on my phone, and
There was a.
one had the skid steer.
Yeah, one of those. This one
Yeah,
has
it's got
that.
600 of this.
Yep,
Okay.
in this one.
Yeah, is that in the folder?
Let's see.
Yes. And just for the record, you can park how many cars in this driveway?
The entire area that was done, probably 8. Saying probably do 6, 8.
How many are you, like, are you allowed, like, is there any restrictions as far as parking along 7?
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't have a plan showing what we did. And I think we need a revised survey to show where the gravel was installed and then, you know, where the parking spaces will be on the plan to make sure that they're legal parking spaces, they're not in the town, the state right of way and all of that.
But yes, you're right, well, you have to be quite sure.
You know, it says there's 20 feet, you know, between the building and the property line. Looking at the pictures, it looks like gravel was put in between there, but, you know, was it over the property line? I have no idea. You know, that's town property. I think we need a site plan now to show these improvements, to show that the parking is, because really, parking is what is gonna dictate the use of the two-family. In my mind. That's the critical element.
Critical piece, yeah.
Yeah, Chris, do you know if there's a pin on that corner for the town, the property line?
Yeah, there is a pin. Yeah, that's what he marked everything off of.
Okay. Have you been out there yet to see?
No.
or-
No.
Because I mean, I drove by there a lot and it appears that they're still using the town park. Town park, that's what we wanna call it, for parking the vehicles.
So there's two things that they can't use for parking, and that's in front of the building and the town park parking. So all the vehicles have to be on the side of the building. Okay. Per DOT, they want the front to be used as a spot, if you pull the vehicle in to back in, to be able to pull out on Route 7, they don't want anybody backing out on Route 7.
Yeah, so they can't.
And you
use
got
Route
those
7.
comments from DOT?
Yes.
Okay.
So then really the only spot that's be allowed to be utilized is really on the side.
It's where the truck, the picture of the truck is parked.
But from the front of the building back.
So that, to me, what's the minimum off-street parking required per domicile or unit?
They need 4.
They need 4 spots.
For a two-family.
I don't see 4 spots there.
Well,
Unless you can do front to back.
spots have to be 9 feet by 18, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that pickup truck.
So the width he could probably get, you got 20 there. I need 9.
There's 20 feet between the house and the property line.
Yeah, that's on that one survey map.
Yeah, but you can't park 2, because then those people in the back can't get out.
That's not, yeah, but
I don't think your own driveway, you can park someone in, that's not.
it's really not our concern.
Is it's literally just,
But that's
Right.
one family, one house. These are separate houses. You can't, I would think you wouldn't be able to restrict unit 2 from being able to get out
Well,
and use their
You could
driveway.
have the left side, you could look at it right.
I think that's what he has to do is dedicate.
yeah, so like unit 1, it's got front to back, unit 2.
Right, I think you have to designate that.
Yeah, I think they gotta show a plan that shows that, we've got the. You know. The availability.
I mean.
Chris, what was the size of the Stacy?
9 by 8.
So do they have it up? Yeah.
It looks like.
They had 52 from front to the back, that's if they use the whole side.
Yeah, but
Which they did.
Wonder if they can use some west side too. I'm looking at the diagram they originally seen.
Well, the well is right there.
Okay.
See the cross, it looks like a cross with a dot in the center? Yeah. That's the well.
Corinne, did you get a response from the town?
Oh, that.
Oh, this is it. You look right there. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's fine.
So I think that's why the west side is probably on the west.
Yeah.
What was county attorney's recommendation?
So that's why the front is essentially.
Front.
No, oh, no. I mean. We could always. Require a updated social.
Actually, like, just looking at that pictures of order. You didn't. I don't see two cars next to each other.
Do you know how wide that gravel strip is if you're alongside?
It's right up to the line, it's 20 feet.
No,
Yeah, it's.
I think,
I can go measure it.
I'm looking at it, I mean, look at that picture that we submitted, I don't see how you're gonna fit two vehicles there.
If you're folding that mirror in, we're getting past those steps, if those steps are sticking out from the building.
I would want a site plan.
What was the remark on parking in front of the building on the southern side? It has to be backed in,
No,
You can't use it at
you
all.
can't park there
No, because that's, the majority of that's actually right away.
on the
On the
front.
front, yeah. So what they recommended, the county, is park the vehicle, if you pulled in on the right hand side,
Right.
right? They don't want you backing out on Route 7. So
Right.
you would then have to back into that front area and pull out.
Okay.
So that has to stay clear.
That's the.
Yeah.
Allowing
From the building.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right. No, it doesn't count, I mean, in the front, everyone has been.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in front.
Right,
Possible.
right, and I've actually asked them not to park.
Yeah.
Because,
Okay,
The
but they
one-
wouldn't count.
right, when he backs that one pickup truck, it's literally the far and white line. I mean, that's-
To delineate the town proper as well, I would agree.
Because this is.
The survey doesn't look right, something looks wrong.
Yeah, I know, I mean, looking at the photos and everything, I don't see it. But that's why again,
I know
We
we
need
talked
to
to
remind-
Lance on this. We did talk to Lance and Vanis on this. I don't know about doing another survey to see if he has enough room for parking and all that. We suggested that at the last meeting.
I mean, I think that at minimum, like, with a site plan with the parking, marked on it. To show that it actually meets it, and then,
and you gotta show where the steps are encroaching out into that driveway. The front area should be marked, no parking, there should be signs, like you said, for unit 1 and unit 2, where the parking is. And what we were just saying is, I think some sort of a boundary or barrier should be put up between the town's property and this property. So it's clear that nobody can park over there.
yeah,
And then if all those things, if they can meet all of those things,
yeah.
then
I think the steps are, from the one photo, it looks like they're cutting into the width of the parking by at least a foot. And then on the other side, you're gonna have a natural, migration into the town property, just, there's no curb, there's no fence, if nothing else, it's just gonna be a creep into that. If they can meet it, I think, then let's show it, and then.
mean, I don't think it matters much with the town is where it is, and I think they're talking about ways to protect themselves too. So.
So I agree, we need a site plan for these things.
The dimensions could be for that right side.
You just need to demonstrate that you can park 4 cars on the property.
Okay.
Now you know that it's in front of the building, it's excluded unfortunately for parking. So it really appears just from our review that really it's on that eastern side of the house where you're gonna be able to accommodate the parking. If you can work with the surveyor and figure out where to fit another spot, that'd be fine, but you just need to demonstrate to us that you can fit 4 cars based on the sizing of our spaces.
9 by 18.
So if I take a picture of 4 cars parked there, that's them.
No.
Well, no.
We need a site.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're working with Tom.
Yeah.
You have been,
I'll explain it to him, yeah.
whatever you gotta tell him, I guess.
Yeah, because I
I
mean,
don't know.
so technically he can't use the right of way on the right hand side as part of his distance. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Oh, I
he
know.
needs
I-
36 feet, but it's not from the white line. 36 feet.
What is it? It's from the center, how far?
Well, it's,
30.
Is that?
it's basically the front of the building, right?
Yeah, because
It's close.
they gotta have that turning movement.
Yeah, you can't.
Right.
So even though the right of way might end earlier, you still need a full car width past the right of way. To
To
turn
make
around.
that turning movement, yeah,
So essentially, it's the front of the building.
yeah.
That would be the safest thing.
So a
For
typical
sure.
turning movement would be 12 feet,
Right.
and then you would need 18 feet, then you'd need 2 feet, and then you would need 18 feet.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you're gonna have it stacked like 18, right, the next 18 starts
Yeah,
right
no,
on.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
so. I don't,
I
the
mean,
very narrowest, I
you're
would say.
looking at roughly 40 feet from fourth. Exactly what you.
Yeah, which the whole building is 42, so if the,
Oh, no, it's 52 with the.
oh, at the front, okay.
You're talking the porch, not where the building starts, right?
For the part of the building, yes.
So for closest.
On the front corner,
So you want 40 feet from that corner.
that's what you need, roughly. I mean, you need 38, but you're not gonna park public, you know, so.
So you guys would be there if there's 40 feet.
You gotta have a plan
Yeah,
showing
he's gotta,
that,
but I gotta tell Tom, he's gotta show that on here.
Right.
Like, he's gotta draw 4 squares on the map that shows that he's got enough room. for
Well, I think, in my opinion, this map should also have a surveyor go out there, pick up where the gravel was put. To make sure that it's not encroached onto the town's property, we need to show a barrier division between the town's property. You know, it needs a revised survey of the conditions that he built now. Showing where those stairs encroach into there and all that kind of stuff. And then, once you have your revised as-built condition as it sits right now, then show you've got the turning movements in the 4 spaces. So someone's gonna have to go out there and shoot it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need elevations too. Josh and I are just looking at the picture, because if you notice, you know, the northern side along Route 20 is pretty significant.
Yeah, and it looks like there's like maybe a 4x4 or something, but there's there's nothing retaining any of it.
So, yeah, you know, maybe a retaining wall, wheel stop, you know, something. You know,
Because I mean, it's gonna suffer, I mean, there's an access over to the foundation, but you know,
I'm assuming.
4 feet up.
so I would make a recommendation to table.
Table this until we get the revised plan. I will talk to Tom tomorrow.
Okay.
We're done that. No, it's not anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta get more.
Motion to table.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to table the Thomas Samuelson special use permit. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Board Member Hilbert,
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Howard.
Yes.
So I think that's what Chris, you're gonna follow up, so.
Yes.
you'll-
Okay.
All right, work with
I'll talk
Chris.
to Tom.
We just gotta get this thing defined, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
there's no questions and, you don't have problems in the future.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Edward Putnam, was on old business.
Yeah, Roger Putnam.
You're Roger?
Roger, yes.
Uh,
My father and myself were on the deed for the fund.
okay. Major subdivision, 5 lots, 1 lot and 5 smaller lots. So
It should be correct, it should be 4 lots. On there.
Okay, then 4 lots,
Yeah, we're asking for 4.
okay.
Main parcel has a fifth.
Okay.
But the remaining is the fifth.
Yes, yeah.
Five lots.
Just to clarify, yeah.
Five lots.
Okay.
So. Can you give us an update on what you've accomplished since the last time? And go from there.
Well, I believe Joe Bianchini has already sent all the paperwork into you people from what you requested on the last meeting.
So I think we're still waiting to hear back from SHPO. So folks recall, we're lead agency. This is a type 1 secret classification, which requires a coordinated review. So Corinne has reached out to DEC, SHPO. DEC and SHPO. But unfortunately, they have not responded yet, so we can't make our secret determination until we hear from them, because we need to understand if they have any concerns.
What concerns could they possibly have?
Actually, it's a secret type 1 because of the proximity to the historic mansion, which is eligible for listing on the National Register of Historic Properties. So we do need for them to provide us with their determination. It's called an impact determination.
So what we're concerned about is the structures that we're planning on building are going to interfere with the North Mansion?
Yes, and basically it could interfere with different things, essentially the visual setting for the mansion. Yes, so.
Even though they're in the woods?
Yes, yeah, yes, but because of the proximity, it's in the immediate vicinity of that, it triggers the requirement for this additional review. In the past, there are a lot of historic resources in Duanesburg, so we do run into this. In the past, I can't recall SHPO ever having concerns. I don't want to misspeak, but I just also don't want you to be alarmed, but unfortunately, we do need that piece of paper from them in that determination.
Okay.
So we have reached out again, thank you, Corinne, so by the next meeting, we should have that determination, and we'll certainly continue to follow up. The one thing I think we could do to advance this is we could set the public hearing for the next meeting. I don't know if folks would be amenable to that. That said, I don't know if there are other comments, but that's just kind of where we stand from the seeker
I think
process.
the one comment that I remember was that the site plan didn't show the whole parcel. I know there's a couple Z hooks that go even across 88. And that, I think, I didn't see an updated.
I didn't either. That was a request, but I didn't see anything submitted.
What came in last from the ABD, Corinne?
The site plan looks up there right now. So I still only have a site plan with that square in the corner.
Do we need a survey
Of the entire farm?
The entire farm?
It's not a
Even
new
over on
it would just be to show the whole parcel.
Even the other side, I-88 on Route 7?
Yeah, because all this is part of, there is
Yeah,
those,
this is-
not.
Because 88 went right down, split it right in 2
Yeah,
pieces.
yeah. But I mean, I think that could be something that would be submitted, in between now and the next meeting.
Yeah.
We
I
can
don't
get
think
Joe
it's
to-
gonna hold anything up.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Just so when we're looking at it and you present to the public, everybody sees the whole thing,
Okay.
not just this.
Sure.
focus part.
What, are you guys gonna sell these lots off individually? What are you guys
We're
gonna
planning on
develop
building
them
houses.
yourself?
We're planning on building houses.
Are you guys planning on doing?
Yes,
Then the reason why I ask is I think you're gonna be over 1 acre of disturbance, so we're gonna need a basic SWIP for this.
What do you mean 1 acre of disturbance?
Building 4 houses, there's gonna be over an acre of disturbance.
You're talking about each site?
No, this as a whole project, you're gonna be over 1 acre
Oh,
of
absolutely.
disturbance. So it's gonna be between 1 and 5 acres of disturbance. It's less than 25% impervious, so it's gonna be a basic SWIP. But they're gonna have, Joe's and ABD's gonna have to put a basic SWIP together.
Okay.
And they know how to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not a big deal. Okay. All right, so just the list, we're waiting for the sign off from OPRHP. You'd like to have the plan show the overall setting in terms of the remaining parts of the parcels. And you want a basic SWIP because if you're building on the 4 lots together, it's between 1 and 5 acres.
I'm assuming it's between 1 and 5 acres. Joe's gonna have to show that if it's over 5 acres of disturbance for a residential subdivision, then you go to a full SWIP.
Right.
But I'm assuming with these 4 lots, it's gonna be between 1 and 5. But ultimately, Joe's gotta show that disturbance.
Okay,
He's gotta calculate it.
so conditioned on that information being provided, you want to tentatively set the public hearing?
Are folks comfortable with that? Because if we get everything and we could possibly, if we get everything 10 days before the meeting and there are no issues, we can go forward and approve it next month.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So I'll make a motion to schedule a public hearing, and you said tentative.
No, I mean, the public hearing would have to be rescheduled if the information doesn't come in, that's all.
So I will make the motion to schedule the public hearing,
February 15th.
thank you, February 15th, for the Putnam subdivision.
Second that.
Remember Novak?
Yes.
Remember Elliott?
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris?
Yes.
Remember Hoffman?
Yes.
Yeah, just make sure that you get that stuff 10 days before.
It'll be
The
here.
next meeting.
It'll be here.
Gonna hold Joe tomorrow.
He's sitting on his desk.
Believe me when I tell you, I'm sitting on his desk.
Okay, the next thing on the schedule was Argus, who has not showed up tonight. So we're gonna take him off the agenda, and now the remaining is Ralph Connell. So he's correct for the 3 months, 1 month. Let's make out over the last month.
We got a map drawn up.
Got Matt, right?
Our man Chris, cut me up to win.
Oh, but that's a yellow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a little better.
You see?
Yeah, I'm gonna flip it over this way, to the other hand. No, that's good.
The one thing I was gonna do in that parking lot down by off of 7, what's the name of that street?
Depot.
Yeah, Depot. We're gonna come in with gravel, okay, into the parking lot. This way here, there won't be no, when they leave the parking lots, it's muddy or something. They don't leave no debris out in the road.
I think it shows it on the map.
I think it shows it on the
Yeah.
map.
Yes.
It does.
Shows a 25-50 gravel on Third.
Right.
Right, we put the garbage cans in sight, put the dumpster in sight, put the, the food in sight. And where the flea market's going, the farmer's market.
In that septic mound in the back that's existing, that services the existing building?
No, it's closed off.
It's closed
They
off.
put the sewers in. So he had that put in, I think, like 10 years ago. But
Okay,
it's not being used, but.
okay, but it's existing. It's not something.
Yeah, sorry.
Right.
So I see you have gravel, just lost it. I see gravel in some areas has been highlighted.
Right,
There you go, gravel parking, flea market vendors. there it is again. What do you envision doing for this parking spaces in the back beyond the,
That's gonna be for the flea market part,
okay,
and then, in the middle there. Should be some parking that can. We figure this thing out.
do you think we put gravel where this parking spaces are going? I guess that's.
There is gravel, the only place there won't be gravel is off the Depot Street there.
So there's
There's gonna be
gravel,
grass there, we're not gonna disturb nothing. You know, in that area, it's just gonna be grass mowed and parking there. It'll just be gravel coming in off the road.
okay, and then same with the parking that's generally behind the diner up on.
Right, that's all gravel there. That's
Gravel.
That's
Just
existing
right here.
gravel.
Talking about this,
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
that's all grass right now, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's all grass, right?
And this over here is what Elizabeth was talking about.
No, actually, I was talking about,
This
yeah, I
one?
was talking about that one,
Okay.
but I'm also curious about the
Yeah.
other one
Both
too.
too, yeah.
Yeah, because one of our concerns is we have awful soil, it's very clay, so whenever we get any rain, it's, yeah.
That's
People will
pretty well
consist-
hard paying down there, I checked it. You know, for parking down in there.
Kim, how many vendors did you say you were gonna have again?
I'm gonna have 30 on the top for the flea market. And then, I think it's 30 on the, for
So
the,
you got 25 farmers market, but it didn't
Right,
say
right,
for
yeah.
the flea market, how
30.
many? So that's 30,
right,
so that's 55. Chris, did you do a parking analysis?
For this, no, this is all done by with Lane's.
No, what is needed, because you've got the parking for the diner, you've got the parking for the
right. everyone-
antique shop. Like, what's required by code for those two things that we've got proposing for 55 units? And then you got public parking on top of that, so what, I guess what I'm saying is, what's the required amount of parking that's needed, and do we have enough?
Let me give out, let me give my ordinance report.
And that one,
I know the diner has their own parking, okay?
but you're
The
showing that
housing-
as this art parking, right? The parking that's kind of got.
Right, that's what it's.
17 spaces.
Right.
Yeah.
So that takes care of all of the diners.
I don't know, that's what I'm asking, what's,
Because whatever
what's
they're
required?
building is.
That's whatever they're required for, Lance checked that out,
Okay,
he said it's fine for diner.
Because normally you'd have, on the plan, you'd have, you know, parking requirements
yeah,
somewhere.
somewhere down here.
Yeah.
So, you know, diner, whatever address that is.
He had supposed to put that down, matter of fact, for the parking.
squares are the parking, aren't they?
Right,
Spaces.
Yeah,
Yeah, but we don't know what the requirements are, so he's showing the spaces, which is great, but for example, each flea market vendor might require 3 parking spots per code.
Hmm.
So. That's just what we need.
they usually use, I mean, the one down there in Lewistonville, the one that I'm doing right now, okay? They're showing 2 spots, okay, for each vendor,
Okay,
okay? And you gotta go from there, I don't know. what
Yeah, well, that's where the
Yeah.
code will come.
and that's what Lance should know, to your point.
Right.
Yep, absolutely.
I had just a functional question. I mean, if you're running one of these in Livingstonville,
I'm not running it, another guy is, but I
with
go
the farmer's market in particular, you know,
farmer's
vendors.
market I'd never done before.
Right, so this might be something to think about. One of the biggest things I know, because I've done farmers markets before.
Okay.
And this is not functional unless you have the ability to park right behind. them.
Right,
You're
right.
Accessing produce right from the back of
Right.
the truck or a pickup truck.
Behind the circle there, okay, there's rocks, but you know. what's
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there, okay? We're gonna leave enough room, okay? There for the person, okay, that bringing in the produce, to park the vehicle in the back.
From their.
Right. Right,
So,
If they come in with a car,
Yeah.
they can park the car there, but if they come in with a truck, they're gonna pull their produce, put it there, okay? Then you may have to pull out, like I told you last week or last month, they're gonna bring the vehicles and bring them up on the side there.
so I'm just,
Parking.
observation, like, the produce type stuff, like, they're gonna be wanting to be pulling from that vehicle where that cooler's continuously
Right.
flea market, you're gonna set up a table, and you're probably pretty static for a
Right.
day, so, you
Right,
know, that's
but
up
if
to
there's
you.
no cooler involved with that flea market, okay? They, they're gonna pull the vehicle out,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But if it requires, refrigeration or whatever, then, we'll provide them parking in the
Yeah.
back, you know?
yeah, as long as you're aware that
Understand.
that's kind of a common method to have a vehicle access right behind the booth.
Yeah,
especially
or
for
people
produce.
pull their trailers and they want,
They're literally
Yeah.
using the trailer.
Right.
Hooked to the vehicle as they're
Yeah.
displaying, yeah.
Right,
So I mean, that area for the rocks, it has challenges, maybe it's less of a challenge for flea market stuff. Cause they can pull the car away and they're not trying to pull fresh, stuff out of a cooler as it sells. But that's you guys that come up with your functionality.
Right.
It's based on.
I mean, either way, we can, maneuver, like if the flea market has to go up in there, flea market will go up in there. Put the produce over into the other. If it comes to that,
Yeah,
But I don't see any problem because I see plenty of space in there,
yeah, yeah.
and as long as there's no fire lane,
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think you have enough room. I was just saying
Yeah.
from the
there is.
need from a vendor perspective, if you go to Troy, if you go to Schenectady, like, check it out.
Right, I
Their-
know.
Yeah, their vehicle, whatever it may be, is right there.
Well, that's the way the flea market wants it too.
Chris, do we also, is there a curb cut permit because Depot's a town road, right? Or is that a county road?
County road.
Oh, that's a county road, so they're gonna need a county permit
Yeah.
to put that driveway access in.
Now what if we come off of his road?
Yeah, if you come off the parking lot, yeah, then,
Off of his driveway,
Off of his driveway,
you don't need anything.
all right, we can do that too.
And honestly, that
Do I have to show us?
less grass you're crossing,
Yeah,
coming in off of here.
Well,
It's gonna be.
Do I have to show a spot where I'm coming in off of that?
you just have to move that to that.
Okay,
You're talking about the driveway, the long driveway that goes down.
Right.
Yeah, you wouldn't need anything, because that's not a town road, it's.
so I wouldn't even have to show us a place, right?
Well, you
So-
should, especially if you're dropping gravel and stuff like that, I would still. show
Yeah, you're gonna-
That's just,
Is he talking about this?
yeah,
But since I'm coming off of his street, his own road,
Yes.
I shouldn't have to show anything. Really, because it's going right into his grass lot there.
I mean, that's,
I mean,
he's talking about this, there's a driveway, actually.
yeah, cause,
This guy has. Use that driveway, it's on their property.
It's driving function is not 20 feet wide, then that throwing cars coming in and out.
or a commercial access, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to make it easy, so I don't, well,
Versus something.
Yeah, the concern though is that driveway is wide enough for cars to go in both directions.
yes,
You might have a channel.
there's plenty of room there. We get out, look.
So Chris, did you look at the parking?
Yeah, I'm looking in the building code right now. This might be a little tricky though, because in our ordinance it says on Hamlin. You're allowed to park in the street. This,
But we don't have street, there's no on-street parking. Right, DOT.
Plus I had that other,
Seven.
Or 20.
lots.
Yes, county and fixed town.
In the,
So I think Lance has to provide a parking breakdown and table for the existing businesses that are there, then the number of vendors that are there, and then number of parking spots for public use.
It does look like there's 100 essentially new parking spaces. Because I didn't count the 17 for the diner. The diner doesn't seat. that many.
road, man.
Yeah, I think. that-
Yeah, we did the parking, but right, that's,
It's been the building code, but
that's what we,
Did you look
how
at
we
the
did the
zoning
parking.
I look at it, zoning, it doesn't say anything about.
Well, it's 44
Yeah.
people.
It doesn't really, somewhere it says the number of parking spots. Because I know we've gone through this for other, like the machine place next to. Jonathan's, we went through and we smoked out spots.
But, the diner, that's, there's gonna be a prescription based on square footage of the
For a
diner.
restaurant.
Yeah, for a restaurant.
And
And
then
then
there's
the
the,
retail, I'm assuming that's gonna be considered the antique is gonna be considered retail. But then there's some apartments up above, yeah, so I mean, that, again, this is stuff that Lance. Can easily, or should easily be able to do.
Yeah.
And then if it's not explicitly said how many flea market public spots per stall.
That's where we can use
Yeah,
some
because-
discretion to say, okay, you've got 55 vendors, if
Yeah.
all 55 are active.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have 50 people there, one public
okay, here
person?
we go, off-street parking section.
Come and go, come and go.
So we have. Dwelling, 2 per unit. So, because that's for the apartments. Retail, business, 1 for each 180 square feet of total floor area. And. Restaurant, bar and nightclub. Is 1 for each 100 square.
So you 13.
13 for the diner.
Weird more than that.
Yeah, there's 17 for the diner, right?
Yeah.
So-
For these here.
Oh, here we go, roadside stand. 5 spaces per stand, plus 1 for each 200 gross square feet.
So you're gonna need. There was how many? 55?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
That's-
No, that's
no,
way
That's
excessive.
5 person.
Yeah. no.
And that's in the code?
That's what it says,
That's
roadside
250
stand.
parking
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
see that.
that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, he made sure there was enough parking spots for the residents, he made sure.
Yeah, and I mean,
Unless that's just-
I'm not saying it's not doable, I think it should be just
Okay.
have Lance do it.
Yeah.
And it says off-street parking, the purpose of this section is to provide guidance as to the appropriate parking facilities that shall be required in conjunction with new development or a change in use. So says the planning board and the ZBA reserve the right to waive any portion of the parking requirements in the event that proximate public parking exists to support the use. Off-street parking spaces for separate uses may be provided if collectively the total number of spaces is not less than the sum of the space required for the use. However, if the applicant can establish that such collective parking area will experience reduced parking demand due to staggered hours of operations, the planning board may authorize a reduction in the total number of spaces up to 25%.
So that's limiting.
Your discretion.
But I mean, we could always do bank parking, there's lots of options, maybe this thing really takes off,
I mean, it could be conditioned too, it's like maybe we do a 1-to-2 ratio now. With the condition that if on-street parking becomes a problem, that.
Yeah,
has to be-
Additional parking has to be.
and there's lots of room over
And
here.
there's
where
plenty
you-
of space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I think we need Lance to prepare a table for us showing how many spaces are required for each stand. And then what's being provided, and that would be spaces required for the actual vendors in addition to the public. So he should be able to get us that table. It's gonna demonstrate that what you're proposing is sufficient. But that's all, we have plenty of room, we just kind of need it documented.
Okay.
So we definitely need that. I think we also need just an operating plan,
yeah, for hours,
For hours,
yeah.
yeah, the seasonal use, you've identified porta johns, which is great, and the dumpsters, so just
Right.
in the operating plan outline how often they're gonna be dumped. when you expect to be picking up. Yeah, and that's, yeah, let's put that.
But if,
right- right
you know,
in
if
the
like, if your hours, you're proposing for weekend hours, then, within 2 business days of it,
One day we.
Well, I'm just saying, so like,
Right.
Tuesday, like Tuesday after the market on Sunday or something like that.
Okay.
And same with the garbage, if the dumpsters are open barrels,
Yeah.
that's gonna need to be contained.
That'd be addressed that day,
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's,
Perfect. But yeah, that's just what we need to see in the operating plan. And you've already mentioned it's just seasonal, there's not gonna be any lighting, no pavement or anything, so it's all, so you can just, yeah, it's all good.
Teresa,
Yeah,
what page in the zoning were you reading that from?
oh dear.
41.
Never mind.
Section 13.
Yeah, that's right, section 13. I found it as page 40.
I was on the next page reading.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the only thing that I would say is, if we're gonna utilize this parking over here, if we're gonna need these 30 spaces over here, I think, that they should consider putting gravel in,
I think that same thing goes up here. Half of it does seem to be some sort of impacted area, but. I mean, I don't care how compacted it is, if it doesn't have some sort of gravel, like last summer. You would have been pumping, instantly and pulling people out with a tow truck.
Right.
I mean, those spots in the front, those are probably, well parked, but. I mean, it's probably in your best interest to just show it so that. When it becomes a problem, you're covered and you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I still think you're gonna be under an acre disturbance, so.
You see the number?
Yeah, 0.02, yeah. So that's what I'm saying, by adding gravel for these areas and these areas, I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to say something about the temporary nature of the structures, like, you don't want to have them, like, do you anticipate that people bring a table and set it up?
Own table. Set it up, they take it down that day.
Okay,
So you're not gonna allow.
We could make that a condition though when we approve
Yes.
it, that no things are taken down, no overnight, or,
Okay.
all that kind of stuff.
And if you could put that right in the operating plan too, that
Right.
makes it all.
it makes it
It
easier.
doesn't look like, going out Route 17 where you got all those old flea markets that are, rotten
The little
bushes.
huts.
Yeah, it's like the little huts.
Do we have enough confidence to set the public hearing?
If Lance can get us everything 10 days before, sure. But we have to give people an opportunity to look at it if they want to. And we could open the public hearing and then continue it, as well,
At least it gets a notification out there, and if we everything come together, we could.
Would we take this one, Elizabeth?
We have not. Listed.
I would say I'm listed, yeah.
So we're gonna need part 1 of the short environmental assessment form, so Lance should be able to complete that for you.
Do you want to do a coordinated review on this one, or since it's a temporary use, not, I mean.
We typically don't for unlisted actions. Can't, it's
The
temporary.
only thing I would say is, does the state or county want any?
Well, it'll go
We're
to
gonna
county
county
plan.
referral.
It has to go to county planning.
What are you thinking, DOT?
Yeah,
because
just
it's
for,
not-
that would be my only
Should they?
thought, but I mean.
It's not something DOT.
Yeah, it
Correct, did
doesn't
you
have
get
to
that?
be coordinated.
Yeah, notification, yeah. Just,
Well, in county, DPW, if Depot Lane is, well, no, they don't need a curb cut, that's right, that's fine.
Well, no, we were talking that driveway might not be wide enough, so it might be better to put that driveway in.
Oh, okay, I didn't catch that, all right.
so we do want county?
Yeah, I mean,
DPW?
yeah, I think it is better to put that little driveway in.
Okay,
Where we have it right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
so county DPW, county planning board and DOT.
DOT.
Yeah.
For
So I could make a motion, to establish the town of Waynesburg as the. Making a motion to establish the town of Waynesburg as the seeker lead agency. For the proposed special use permit for a farmer's market. And we're classifying this as a seeker unlisted action. And provided we get the information we need from you for the next meeting and we hear back from the agencies we could consult with. We're gonna go ahead and set the public hearing for February 15th.
Okay.
And with that information and hopefully we can advance your project. So I will make that motion.
Well, second,
Board Member Novak?
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman?
yes.
Chairman Schmidt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris?
Yes.
Board Member Howard?
Yes.
So what we were talking about up here is that there's pop-up tents flying into the road, that kind of stuff. We need to make sure we have some sort of discussion about safety, possibly how the tripling tents have to be fire rated or fireproof, or whatever, like, without firewall. It's flame retardant, flame retardant, yeah.
So a lot of that stuff
We
is
can get
gonna
into
have to
specialty
be, well, that, but in order to operate, like most farmers markets, you have to carry liability insurance or some sort of insurance. Not only does the operator, but the vendors.
Yeah.
And, you know, the easy ups, they have to, there's a certain like rating for the weights that have to be on them. You can't rely, you know, so all that stuff.
Yeah.
Not to say that we can't condition it, but there's a lot of that that's built into. In order for them to operate.
Built into what? So like you're saying it's built into.
So like, I know like when I applied to, you know, be a vendor at farmers markets, like I have to show that I have that coverage for the liability and, you know, meet the, yeah, I don't know if it's building code or something, but there's requirements for the pound per weight on each corner.
What I guess what I'm asking is that defined in this building code or is it defined in the operating requirements of the owner? Right, is it the
I don't
owner
think there's
requirement?
anything in the building code.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know.
Easy ups or anything.
Yeah, I know that for bigger tents, like there is, cause we've set them up for the state, and we had to make sure we had certain weight.
Mhm.
We have to have exit signs, if it's over a 10x20 tent, has to have lit exit signs on.
Well, the Harley Riding was a perfect example.
Yeah, well, this here is just gonna be frontage.
We had to figure.
You know, they just walk back there.
But there is a requirement somewhere
Yeah.
about the amount of weight per corner
Mhm.
on each one of those, and they, you know, it can't be a stake driven in the ground, it has to be a movable weight, you know, all that
Yeah,
stuff.
most of them do carry them anyways.
Right.
If they don't set it up. That's the way I'm gonna operate it.
So the only other question I had is, what's the setback for the booths or the table? Cause
10x10.
The
From the
setback
road.
from,
from
Oh, I
the edge of the right of way for DOT,
For pretty much any.
yeah, what is the setback for that requirement this is in the.
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Yeah, so
The front yard setback.
I don't think. Yeah, so here's the thing, well, if you're classifying it
Well,
as
that's just
a
parking,
roadside stand, there is no setback.
there is, okay,
Not for a roadside stand, so if you're.
We could always make a setback
Right.
though.
what would the setback be if it was a commercial structure?
In the hamlet, give me 1 second. Front setback would be 20 feet, sides 15.
Yeah. Just make sure that the booths are 20 feet back. Okay, not the parking spaces. but-
So yeah, Lance should show the regular Hamlet setbacks.
20 feet.
Yeah.
Just do it from a commercial, because it's so close to Route 20 and there's high-speed traffic.
Gotcha.
But we also have boulders going around where
Big
the
boulders there.
farmer's market will be.
Well, that's great, that helps.
Yeah, there won't
That
be no
helps.
car going through.
No, but people, you know,
People
people walking between them, the
Yeah,
road and
yeah,
stuff, so, I mean,
Well, that's like somebody walking on the sidewalk.
you got plenty of room. So,
Yeah, you
Yeah.
could just push it just a little bit.
Okay,
In the back, they're more than far enough in the back.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
nothing's back there.
All right, so you're set for the.
Get the notes on
Just
here.
give us that information.
Yep.
Yeah, you can tell Lance to watch the meeting to,
He's on right now.
oh, is he?
Oh, is he?
Okay.
anything else? Oh, then
So
you
he's
go.
hearing everything we say.
Yes.
Hear that, Lance? All right. see you next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
You got it.
you.
All right, good luck, guys.
Thank you, Chris, for stepping up.
You're welcome. All right.
Man's a nice guy, man.
New business, you got Robert Nice.
Steve.
What about?
She's able.
She take her.
Bravo.
Yeah, I'm tired.
There you go.
Got up at 3 AM.
It's like pain and suffering here. Come on. All right, what are you up to?
So I got a little over 5 acres here. We want to subdivide the 1 acre lots. Got sewer there, in the hamlet, so.
Were you here before? Did we look at this once before?
I tried to do this a year ago, but I didn't have any time to make any of the meetings, so.
I thought we looked at this.
Yeah, probably a year or two. I got these plans drawn up maybe 5 years ago or something. I don't know if they did anything, but. I started this whole process, but.
Depot Road.
Depot Road.
It's actually right down from where we just stopped.
Yeah.
No?
But on the other.
Opposite side of the road.
Yeah, yeah. So this is like behind.
It's behind all the houses on Route 7 and they're
Yeah.
coming down
Yeah.
with Williamsburg.
Yeah.
Oh,
A
okay.
couple new houses, right? And then.
Yeah.
this-
I gave the town a right of way. They put the sewer behind all the houses on 7 there on this property, so. I gave them the right of way and also I can link up with it if I want to build. We're probably gonna sell. Most of them, maybe I'll try to build one. It's so expensive to build houses, but it's not worth it. You're gonna spend 500,000 to sell a house for 550 grand, so
Yeah.
waste of time.
10% wrong.
It's a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta really load it.
So it seemed pretty straightforward, especially with the subject.
Well, with the sewer.
Sewer.
Sewer makes it, yeah.
Yes, that's entirely different.
Yeah, I think all the details are on there, so. And obviously, that's all proposed. I'm really just looking to get the subdivision done.
So this isn't sketch review, we've kind of already done sketch review. It sounds like last 5 years.
That's really- that's-
It's definitely gonna be basic SWIP again. Through this,
Even if I'm not building it,
but,
even if I'm not building it,
well, eventually they're gonna get built and it's gonna need a basic SWIP.
that would be required by the builder to maintain, right? Retain it.
So that's, if you sell them as individual lots,
Mhm.
you're not gonna be 5 different basic SWIPs. There's gonna be one basic SWIP for the subdivision. And then as you sell the lots, the builder is going to have to get permit coverage on that basic SWIP.
Okay,
So the basic SWIP gets done, it gets put in place. And then when you sell each one of these, because you could sell in theory to 5 different builders.
sure,
So each builder will then get their own permit coverage based on the basic SWIP
okay,
that is for this subdivision.
gotcha. All right,
That's pretty much just soil erosion and sedimentation control. So
Yeah.
yeah. It's not much, there's not much grade there.
do the lots meet the requirements, the dimensional
Yeah.
requirements?
Hamlet is 1 acre.
Okay.
We just double check that, but. I brought all my books tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
I got code books, fire codes.
yeah, and all the rest of it, one, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. I'll be fine.
Oh, that's not. But that's the new force mains. So where's?
No, it's a gravity main. That's a force main lateral tying into a gravity manhole in the corner there.
Where's the gravity?
It's starting in the park.
This is gravity. right here,
So it's going this way,
yes,
and then these pump up into.
yes,
Got it, okay.
and the lot,
Yeah, that's-
lot two has an easement for lot one for the grinder muscle.
Yeah, minimum lot size is 1 acre. 1 acre.
So the only question that I would have, Chris. We would wanna talk about the sewer. If we would want a lateral coming into the town's manhole. Cause normally laterals go into the main, not into manholes. Because if our guys are working on the manhole, you don't want the lateral pumping sewage onto them while they're in the manhole.
And
So usually the laterals are tied into the main, not right into the manhole.
So where, do you see one tied directly into a manhole?
Yeah, lot one.
Got you, okay, yep.
To. So, I mean, if that just moved down.
Yeah, it's just gonna move down into the main, that,
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha, all right.
I mean, that's. I don't know if that's in our sewer code, Chris, but that's a typical industry standard, people just don't like to wear.
That's what he's gonna have to inspect when it's done, right? Make sure it's not in the mail.
So that when they're in there, so it's just a matter of moving it 5 feet over
Yeah.
here.
This, as I recall, this land is like sort of,
It's all sloped down towards Depot.
right?
Yeah.
So do we, is there any wetland issues or anything here, or do you think it's
I mean,
pretty?
So you got a pond right here, right? Or, well, other than that,
We don't have any secret information since it's sketch plan.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
I mean, this has to drain somewhere. And it's gonna go.
Oh, so we have it under old business, but it's actually sketch plan, is that?
Yeah,
And
we actually.
Oh, we have it under new business.
business.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you want the basic SWIP. You want the laterals to show that it's the main and not the manhole. We need to have somebody look at it to make sure there's no wetlands or. Which I imagine is gonna be pretty easy for this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously gonna be an outlet to this pond, or at least what was the drainage.
Okay.
Lot
Yeah.
one or lot two is gonna probably have.
And we need a short EAF, right?
Yeah, so we'll need part one of the short EAFs. State environmental assessment form, secret environmental assessment form, short environmental assessment form for secret.
And this was subdivided before, or it was merged together?
It's 2.5 acre lots now,
Okay,
and we're gonna subdivide it with 5.
okay. So that's that original division line, and it's basically gonna be the new.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it back up against? Who's it back up against?
Shores.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right,
And then-
so the church must be around here somewhere.
The church is down on the other side of,
It doesn't, it's not adjacent to the property, I don't think.
yeah, it's down.
Okay,
Yeah, so this, the new houses are over here. The two new ones, and then the dentist, Dollar General. Yeah.
You thinking unlisted action?
wow, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I can't think of any reason why it would be historic.
Yeah.
Gannell County, curb cuts and permits.
Good news is don't have to deal with DOT.
Right. So I think we just need the basic SWIP, the short environmental assessment form, anything else?
Wetlands, we're good at wetlands.
Yeah, that should all be in the short environmental assessment form.
Well, we might as well just have somebody go out and look, you know, tell them anything, you know.
Just.
We're doing that with everybody to protect them as much as, you know, and then we need to do the county referrals.
Yeah, you can tell this is old because Tom is dead.
Yeah.
So ABD, we said ABD.
ABD, Tommy Andrews.
So they'll just need to send something out there to map any potential wetlands.
Yeah,
I don't think it's any. It used to be hay, so.
Oh, okay. That should be fine.
Yeah.
That's-
They're pretty straightforward.
Yeah, that's pretty
I
basic.
got, I'm gonna look into it. Okay.
Just a bunch of paperwork and it's like, you know,
Sign up, we don't have a table.
more meetings, you know.
Yeah.
Well, do you think you'll get this for next meeting or?
Yeah, as long as you guys let me know what I need, I'm putting in my notes here, but
Yeah, you can tell Chris to verify.
sure, we'll put it on, Chris.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, 'cause we would need that
You
by
want, we'll
the
go
fifth.
over the list again if you want. Do you want this too?
No, he told me before when I was talking
Okay.
to him, so
Oh.
I can also.
So it's new, where did we go? It's under new business.
Yep.
So I don't know, do folks want to schedule a public hearing, provided we get the basic SWIFT?
When's the next meeting?
February 15th?
They need this stuff by February fifth.
Probably possible, but also,
Yeah.
It's how much you wanna push Joe
Yeah.
yeah,
and Luigi.
yeah. It's how much you wanna pay, Joe.
Yeah.
It's not push them, pay them.
But if you, and also if your availability for the next meeting, so do you wanna,
Yeah, I'll be around. Maybe not March, so.
Yeah, we can't, we don't have the EAF or either yet, so it's been listed, it's a chief.
yeah. We do need the short, yeah.
Just in case there's a problem. I don't expect it.
So that, yeah, so if we can get that stuff by next week or next meeting, then we can set the public hearing.
You need it 10 days before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll shoot for the public hearing in March.
Yeah.
And then,
But we need to, we have a motion to table. Business. So I will make a motion to table the lease, major subdivision to the February 15th meeting.
Let's say.
Mover Hilda? Yes. Board Member Hoffman?
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris?
Yes.
Board Member Hart?
Yes.
Ready? Thank you. Thanks for
All right,
having
guys.
Thank you.
Call you tomorrow.
Get some sleep first.
Yeah.
Feel better.
I don't push the plans, I don't show that. Because I had the same comment on the plans. I guarantee you, if you look.
You win the patience award. Thank you.
I look at the schedule, oh my God.
You're the last one.
hey, don't forget Delaware Engineering Regulation. If we're talking about,
Alrighty. And we approve. I don't.
And I'll just, with Joanne Crum.
Oh, it's here for that. Here it was. Joey, that.
However you say it.
Oh.
I stumble over that one every time. Look, you're a bird or something like that. I just called it this business.
All right, so what's going on?
So basically, Dean Senior owned this lot and this lot. Dean Junior owns this lot. And what they're doing is doing a lot line adjustment between the two of them to move this line over to here. It's 40 feet off of this existing building right here, to meet your setbacks. Okay, and the whole point of it is because right there is his propane tank, which goes right through the lines. And is to create a buffer for him, a little bit more room. Because I mean, it's just barely 40 feet to the block out.
This
is up on Waynesburg Churches Road.
One,
Right.
your house is all lit up.
Yeah, it's a monster house. It's on Waynesburg Churches Road,
Right before you come up and open.
just before Mudge Road.
The new one is that kind of new.
Well, he's been there for quite a while.
One of them is newer though, the first one that's right by the field is newer, but yeah, but this one's.
So, I mean, this
So
one here
was
was,
3 lots now, or it was 3 lots?
it was, right now, it is currently 2 lots.
So the one lot goes right through the garage.
The original lot went through the garage,
Okay.
but they merged these two
Okay.
into one tax.
So
lot.
they are merged.
They're merged into one tax lot already.
Like how do we get like a 6 bay garage with the line right through the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about 6 bays.
Oh, I drive by it, yeah, I know what else I'm talking about.
It's absolutely, man, I pulled in like, oh my God, this is bigger than,
Bigger than my house.
no, I think it's bigger than half the industry.
Yeah.
It's huge. So this, the tax map went from here to here. Okay, and we're just trying to move this line over to here to give him a little bit more room. And then-
So the only thing I don't see on lot, I don't know, what number, 4. Where, am I just missing it, where the well and the septic is?
The well, which I can't.
Septic is in the back, but I'm guessing by
The septic, I believe all the septics are, there's one back here and there's one up here for the other one.
Yeah, so you got the,
There's a mound, somewhat of a mound, it's hard to tell where they are.
See the SMH.
yeah, there's 3.
But there's an
I
there's,
see the well, Matt, you see the well?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
yeah, the well is way,
Okay.
I mean, it's like a mile away.
That's almost by where that.
Oh, wait, yeah.
For the next.
Right.
Yeah, this is way down here. It took me forever to find them, like, where the heck is a well?
Yeah.
That's unusual, huh?
Is there any requirement for the propane tank in the lot 2 to be far enough from lot line? Is there a setback requirement for the propane tank?
It's like 10.
You mean the property,
Okay,
okay.
all right, good.
So,
We can.
Yeah, we tried to, we based everything to make sure it was at least 40 feet from that shore.
One of my test questions.
You got it right?
The whole basis was to make sure it was 40 feet from that shed right there.
Yeah, so we can just refer this. That's right.
yep,
Yeah, you can. You wanna make the motion? Absolutely.
Okay, the planning board determines that the proposed, bean split river. Action neither creates or increases any significant planning issues with respect to the existing and potential future use of any involved parcel. And no additional lots will be created as a result of the lot line adjustment. The planning board declares the proposed action to be further exempt from any further subdivision review pursuant to Article 3.4 and refer to the application of the code enforcement officer to complete administration of the same. I make this a motion. I make this motion.
I'll second.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Nolan.
Yes.
Chairman Smith.
Yes.
Board Member Howard.
Yes.
Board Member Huffman.
yes.
Thank you. Tried to make it as easy as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice clear map. Good.
2 hours of waiting.
Yeah, for 5 minutes, okay.
It was entertaining, right? No. You guys gotta read the minutes. There, read 4.
So we'll just get away with it, or we can get a whole lot when it's all done.
Yeah.
Okay. But you've got all the maps.
Outside my lot, do we have the Mylar?
I can check tomorrow.
I believe we have those. Yeah. So, and any other one, we'll deal with that after the ZBA.
Yes.
I mean, I was gonna be there for all.
Don't forget your covenant thing.
Cup and Jack.
I know, I took it upstairs. Did you get it?
Oh,
no, I didn't.
I took mine, I think it's still upstairs. Go see it's.
All right, yeah, I
picked it up, I brought it, yeah.
That's the same one there.
Still not.
That's what it looked like, exactly like that.
Give me Joanne.
I don't, yeah, I don't,
Yeah.
some people have a good handle on your cuts, but. less expensive.
Oh, for upstairs, probably 2x4.
There's lots of them happening over there.
Yeah.
Down the road.
All right, we got two other things we gotta talk about. One about the TDE or.
Are we gonna do the minutes first or?
Well,
Thank you.
Do the minutes.
I don't care. I was just-
All right, anybody comments on minutes?
No,
No.
we do wanna look at the, we do wanna approve the 1/8/24 amended version, just wanna make that note.
Is that with the highlight, is the amended?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second approval of the 1/8/24.
I like that person.
Okay. Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Harris,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Hill.
Yes.
Two things, the PD quotes came in from Ingalls, from Prime and from Barton and Judith. The numbers vary, but the scope of the services varies, almost in proportion to the cost, so they're probably about even.
Okay.
Now, I thought Ingalls, proposal was really lightweight, didn't say much or anything, and, my preference, so up to the board, but I think we should stick with Prime's estimate. Doug said he was at 2 meetings, got all the experience with the other solar thing. I don't wanna feel like we're playing favorites with him, but what was the cost of it between him? He was like 5,400, one was 45, one was,
DNL was 45.
45, yeah. So, the one meeting is probably $500, I mean, I think their hourly rates were about the same, because Mike Waffle told me he went through it, compared to each one, and he thought that the Prime was, in substance, dollar for dollar, you get the same.
Yeah, I think with the past track record that we're gonna need at least 2 meetings for the solar project.
Yeah.
At minimum.
Martin and Judas' proposal, they said you give either a meeting or a field visit.
Yeah.
Or a field visit. So
Yeah.
you want, so that was, and then they gave a schedule for additional work, so they're all gonna catch up to the same.
Yeah.
Just so you know, both, Prime and Barton and Juice are, experienced in municipal review for
Yeah,
solar projects.
yeah.
but It's up to the board.
I mean, personally, I would have no problem going with Prime or DNL. I would avoid Ingalls.
I'm gonna take a poll, I'd go with Prime, one go out, one to go with Prime. I'm with Prime.
I'm just,
Okay, all right, so then, the next step is we can make a motion to retain Prime for the CTEC, correct. Okay.
I'll second. Did you just want to?
Yep.
Vice Chairman Schmidt,
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Board Member Houghton,
Yes.
Board Member Hoffman.
Yes.
And Board Member Hill.
Yeah.
Good night.
So Chris, if I have a copy of the proposal and I believe the contract, the standard contract, so I'm gonna give it to Randall to review and then get back to you, so y'all can find it, okay? Alright.
Okay, the other issue that I think we might wanna not spend a lot of time on is Chris approached Spiro with the new TDE bill, and he went ballistic. Apparently, Chris maybe you can.
He said he wasn't spending any more money. He's got an engineer that's doing all that stuff. He's not paying for it to be done.
Is this the revised one? Okay.
Cut in half, yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys don't mind, can you send me the revised one so I can send it to Spiro's attorney
Okay,
and get him involved? I'll get Don involved.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't send it to Don. I sent it to, Spiro asked me to send it to him and Joe, so I sent it to those two. But, yeah.
Send it to me, I'll send it to Don.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't really go any further with construction or anything, so.
Right.
They can prove, so know,
Well, we gotta have a pre-construction meeting.
Yeah.
That's gotta be there, we gotta know.
Yep.
You know, who their contractor is and what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
we can't have the same thing happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was all made as conditions of the site plan,
Yeah.
special-
Yeah, so I don't think the pre-construction meeting was the question, it was the SWIP and stuff, the SWIP visits.
He's not doing SWIP inspections, that was what,
Yeah, we took that
they
down,
cut
it's
out.
other inspections or something.
Well, all he's doing is inspecting it to make sure it's being built according to
According to
the
the plans,
plans.
yeah, right, yeah.
So, you're right, he
Which is
took out the SWIP stuff.
Yeah.
That was just a mistake.
Yeah.
They have to have their own inspector do that.
Right.
So, I don't know if Spiro is still confused, that's why I need to talk to Don.
Yeah, he might be.
Yeah, I
That's-
think so.
That was the last phone conversation I had with him
How long ago was that, Chris?
last week.
Last week, okay.
Last week.
Well, it's fresh in everybody's mind,
Yeah,
so that's, if you could send me the thing, I'll get it to Don.
I think each time or you were here, each time that Spiro had to pay, he came in here, not happy, you know, I don't know, some of the times in Jeff, but one.
Very good.
What can we do? That's right.
Yeah, you know, that has to be
In
done.
this position for a reason.
Up to Don Z. Go from there.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, right.
Before 9:30.
Ah,
Um,
ah,
I'll second.
wait a second, let me get him some, I think we have something else.
That's because we had so many no-shows. That's the only reason.
Right, you're right.
Vice Chairman Harris.
Yes.
Board Member Novak.
Yes.
Chairman Schmidt. Board Member Henry.
Yes.
Board Member
Good.
Yes.
Big city, send that.
well,
I would have.